The DSRP framework presents itself with elite academic metrics, yet independent systems auditors flag it as deeply corrupted. The creators of the DSRP assert their framework is a universal discovery. They place themselves on a registry alongside Charles Darwin and Alan Turing to cement this status. To project this authority, the creators point to an H-index of 22, thousands of citations, active federal grants from the National Science Foundation, and their leadership of a supposedly prestigious academy. Yet, an independent systems audit classifies the framework as an unnatural system, operating at high risk, plagued by corrupted feedback loops and centralized authority. How does a theoretical framework generate the mathematical appearance of universal scientific consensus without ever passing through independent external validation? Systems scholar Dr. Michael Lissack investigated this disparity using a specific methodology. He employed a reflexive analysis. This method tests a theory's validity by applying its own internal rules to the real-world environment that produced it. DSRP stands for Distinctions, Systems, Relationships, and Perspectives. We apply these four exact cognitive rules to audit the institutional ecosystem built by DSRP's creators. If a framework claims absolute authority over the workings of mind and nature, an inability to survive application to its own conditions of production means that claim is false. The D in DSRP stands for distinctions. The rule dictates that all cognition relies on drawing a boundary between an identity and the other. It defines what a thing is and what it is not. We apply this rule to the first major identity claim of the ecosystem's creators, their public assertion of being Cornell faculty. In official capacities, such as this email signature, the framework's creator identifies himself explicitly as Cornell faculty. A search of Cornell University's official faculty directory reveals neither creator holds a current faculty appointment. A second identity claim centers on the Systems Thinking Standards Institute, the organization that sells credentials for the framework. It operates under the claim of being a 501c3 tax-exempt nonprofit. On the Institute's website, this nonprofit identity is displayed prominently to consumers, right alongside text suggesting direct support from the National Science Foundation. The Institute does not appear in the public IRS tax-exempt organization search database. State filings show the entity is incorporated in Montana, sidestepping New York's charity oversight, and lacks recognized IRS tax-exempt status. Tested against its own rule of distinctions, the ecosystem relies on collapsed boundaries. The foundational identities used to secure prestige and sell products misrepresent reality. The S stands for systems. The rule asserts that systems are understood by decomposing them into distinct parts and aggregating them into wholes. This network map displays the DSRP ecosystem's distinct parts: a private research lab, the Journal of Systems Thinking, a credentialing institute, and an honor society. Despite operating under distinct names, every part is controlled by the exact same individuals. In systems theory, Ashby's law of requisite variety states that a regulating controller must have at least as much variety as the system it is trying to regulate. A healthy scholarly ecosystem achieves this variety through independent external peer review. This provides the friction necessary to detect and correct errors. When the author, the journal editor, the publisher, and the certifying academy are the exact same entity, the system possesses zero external validation. Mathematically, it has no mechanism to correct its own errors. The R stands for relationships, the rule that elements are connected through actions and reactions. This flowchart illustrates a closed citation loop, bypassing peer review. A 2022 MDPI issue audit proves 96% of citations originated from the author's unrefereed journal. Exploiting Google Scholar's algorithms launders these into legitimate metrics. Filtered independently, the creator's H-index drops to 8. These manipulated relationships act as mathematical laundering nodes used to secure hundreds of thousands of dollars in federal grant money under false pretenses. Finally, the P stands for perspectives, the rule that every observation is made from a specific viewpoint. The framework describes these four rules as natural kinds, physical properties that exist in the material world independently of human observation. The framework explicitly asserts that an inanimate atom, literally possesses a unique subjective perspective in nature. An atom does not observe its surroundings. It interacts based purely on physical laws, completely devoid of subjective experience or vantage point. Independent audits identify this as an epistemological category error known as cognitive imperialism. It confuses the human observer's mental framework with the physical reality of the observed world. Nature does not draw distinctions or hold perspectives. DSRP takes human subjective choices, projects them onto physical reality, and incorrectly announces them as natural laws. The failures of DSRP point to a larger issue: the systemic vulnerabilities in modern academia that allowed it to thrive. Automated quality controls are failing. Grant agencies trust Google Scholar blindly, pulling heavily inflated, self-published metrics without verifying their provenance. Open access publishing models have structural blind spots. Platforms that allow unreferred guest editing provide the perfect laundering nodes for sophisticated actors to legitimize circular research. Small, loosely governed scientific communities with volunteer leadership often lack the administrative defenses to stop unilateral governance seizures. The DSRP ecosystem serves as a master template, demonstrating exactly how institutional capture operates across modern academic infrastructure. We are left with a pedagogical heuristic for thinking, artificially inflated into an empire claiming universal scientific dominance. When tested against its own rules, the framework collapses into false identities, mathematical manipulation, and philosophical overreach. DSRP provides a flawless diagnostic audit of its own institutional ecosystem. The framework serves as a map for identifying self-referencing systems that have disconnected from reality.